what are we going to talk about today? Well, the types of scams that are pretty common, how to recognize one, and how you can prevent yourself from falling victim to a scam. There's a lot of different types of scams. I want to just focus a little bit more on the ones that are going to come through email, but we'll talk about all of them. So, one really, really common type of online scam is something called a phishing email, spelled with PH. This is probably the most frequent type of scam you'll get, and it occurs in texts as well, but it's predominantly used in emails. And the idea being is that it looks like it came from a legitimate source. So you'll see things like, oh, we have a package we couldn't deliver. Can you contact us at FedEx or the U.S. Postal Service? Oh, there was a problem with your credit card account. Some information needs to be updated. There's a something, and it looks like with the graphics and the heading and everything, it really looks like it's from the company or organization that you are familiar with and you maybe have a service with, but it's not real. And so that's one of the most common types of things. And what do? You click. I was actually went through a training course at one of the colleges I teach at that actually talked about phishing emails as one of the biggest security risks at the campus, and advising a lot of people that are employees how to recognize email scams, how to be, cautious of them, what to do, because even antivirus protection can't really protect you from an email if you click on it. Now, Google, Yahoo, Outlook, Apple, they all have, spam email catchers, but they don't catch everything. The other type of scam that's pretty common is a tech support call. Sometimes you'll get these on the phone. Sometimes you'll get them as an email that'll pop up and say you have a problem with your computer, and we're with Microsoft. We can help you out, or we're with, rarely do you find them with Apple, but sometimes you do. But they want to get into your computer and then install software so that they can do things. So these are some scams. This is how they start, okay? And whether you go through with them or not determines whether or not you end up becoming a victim. There's a lot of other types. You may see something in texting or email or on a website that has really great investment returns. If it's too good to be true, it probably isn't. You might see fraudulent banking emails that look legitimate, asking you to contact them through the click. They want you to click on the link most of the time that they include in a text or an email. There's identity theft, where they're trying to get you to provide certain information about who you are, information about where you live, trying to get identity theft information that can be used to replicate your identity. And if they can get your social security number, that's a pretty good return for them. There's fake auction listings on sites like eBay and others where they have an auction, but the auction's really not legitimate. And usually a site like eBay will have some kind of credibility guarantee so that if you do fall victim to a scam, you can correct it. There are other types of scams like overpayment or non-delivery of goods that you might get something. Those are pretty common. I mentioned those. And then romance scams on dating and romance sites called catfishing. And there's people that have fallen victim to $10 or $15, and people that have lost $500,000. And they target seniors. Okay, they really are targeting our age group because they know we are not necessarily as technology literate as another form of population. And so these are types of things we're going to see increasingly and more often, I think. So I got an email. I'm going to show you more. This was a screenshot I took for the presentation. This came from Starbucks. And it's another, I can answer for a chance to win a Starbucks Stanley Cup, mug, right? So participate in our loyalty program, and you go over to click on the Get Started Now, you go to the website, and it does say independent survey about Starbucks. Because if they didn't say that, it just said Starbucks, Starbucks could sue them for copyright and trademark violation. So they know enough about how to skirt the rules of legal usage when they do these things. And we're going to take a look at how to identify what the website is from the clicks and emails as well. But these are common things. Who doesn't want to win something for free? And so there's a lot of contests, a lot of promotions, a lot of other things that take place that are get you to try and follow through with it. And it starts a survey, and you don't know what they're going to ask for. I didn't go any further than this, but you may start surveying. They may start asking you for information in order to get your mug. Maybe you got to pay them, $8.75 for shipping fee, right? Well, they get enough people to pay that. They've made, a few $1 million from just sending out scam emails. I don't know if anybody's seen anything like this, but they're pretty common. So we're going to find a way to look for starbucks.com in the web address, or a legitimate company in the web address. So how do these scams reach you? Well, there's email, there's phone, there's social media, there's ads and fake websites, there's text messaging. Increasingly, a lot of people are spending their time trying to get you to give them your cell phone number. Cell phone numbers are not listed in any phone directory. When we had old landlines, they were listed in a telephone directory unless we paid a fee for an unlisted. But mobile numbers are not listed in a directory. So the only way somebody can actually get your cell phone number is from somebody else that has it, or by a way for them to get it from you by providing information. There's actually a fairly robust marketplace for mobile phone numbers out there, and that's one way people get your number to send you text scam messages, type of things. So they can reach you on all types of electronic media. Some prevention tools: keep your software updated. If there's a virus leak or a security leak or something like that, and a scam tries to exploit it, the companies like Microsoft and Apple and Google all do a really good job of keeping their software up to date and protecting you. They have very large, efficient security teams. Can't catch everything, as you might have noticed from the CrowdStrike, but the CrowdStrike outage was actually not caused by a scam or hack. It was actually caused by a software error in updating security software as it happened. The other way is to make sure you use passwords wisely. You've probably heard this 100 times, but you should use a different password with every website or online service you use. And there's a reason. For example, Ticketmaster sent me a letter. They sent it by postal mail. They said, we want to notify you that that our systems were breached, and some of your confidential and personal information may have been released. We're going to give you 1 year free service with credit reporting agencies to track everything. Now, if somebody hacked Ticketmaster, they can get your email pretty easily, because we use our email in a lot of places as our user account. But if you have a password and you use that password that you used with Ticketmaster, and it's the same password you used at your bank, you've left yourself open. It's like saying, here's the keys to my car. You don't know where my car is, but if you click on the button enough times, you'll probably find it in the parking lot. And so by having the same password on websites, you create some problems. Now, there's tools like password lockers, I use LastPass. There's 1Password. There's Dashane, where you have a very strong master password, and it keeps track of all of your passwords. The web browsers like Edge and Safari and Chrome will all keep track of passwords for you as well, if you use them to store your passwords. And their systems are very, very highly encrypted, meaning that they scramble everything, so it's almost impossible for somebody to figure a password out. But if you have the same password used on multiple websites, you are leaving yourself open for risk with scammers, because that's one of the things they're trying to get. If they can get 1Password, and they know, as seniors, we have more assets than a lot of people because we've been saving for longer, but we also are a little less tech savvy sometimes in using multiple different passwords for every website we might use. And so it's really important. Now, oddly enough, keeping a paper notepad or notebook with passwords written down in your home is actually pretty safe. It's because somebody's got to break into your house, and the odds of that happening are fairly low. But if you take that password notebook with you in your purse or in your wallet, or you save it as a Word document or a note on a mobile phone or a computer, you're leaving yourself open for easier access for somebody to get it. And so I don't recommend taking your passwords out of your house if you do have them written down in a book or notepad. And I recommend that you use a password locker. They're about $10 to $12 a year, and they're going to help you, because if somebody does get into one website, everything else you're using is protected. And these days, everybody wants us to download an app. Everybody wants us to create an account. Everybody wants us to, visit their website. So that strong password and unique password for each site is really, really important. So if you suspect a scam, just don't respond. If you click on an email link, you're getting taken to a website. But if you don't even open the email at all, if it just shows up in your inbox and you delete it, they're not necessarily going to know that your email address is legitimate. And that's one reason why you see a lot of scam emails and a lot of spam emails. They're trying to find out if email addresses actually work or not. And as soon as you click on an email, you typically let the sender know that you have opened the email. That by itself won't reveal too much information. It just means they're going to know your email is legitimate, and they're going to add it to other lists. And so it's best not to respond to emails or calls or text messages. Just delete them. If it's somebody that really wants to get a hold of you, they'll call you back. They'll leave a voicemail. They'll send you something by postal mail. The IRS never sends out emails. Your bank from financial institutions will only send you letting you know something's updated, but you can always call. And if you're not sure, look on the number on the back of the credit card, or look up information, or go to a physical branch if you have one nearby you. That's the verification of the contact through official channels. Even if you call a bank's credit card department, they can give you a valid number to call for a different department or organization. So verify that contact through official channels and make sure it's legitimate. And understand that there's just a lot of fraud and scams that people are trying to do. But they do have services, at all the legitimate services, to make sure that it's official if you're not sure about it. And as I mentioned, banks and financial institutions, they're never going to ask you for personal information. They'll typically lock your credit card because there's been too many attempts to log in with a password. And then you got to call them to get it released, for example. And so that's typically what they will do. And that's one reason why they go through some verification. And also what's happening is that scammers that end up talking to you or just verifying information. They're trying to collect a lot of personal information about you so that when they call a bank or financial institution, they can give them the right answers about things. So, you know how your bank might say, well, we want to make sure we have 3 or 4 different ways to verify who you are. And your mother's maiden name is not enough at all. Like what they ask you things like, what was your name of your first pet? What was the address of the house you were born in? Things that are is getting more and more obscure. And those are important things to be aware of, is that it's okay to let your bank know those things, and they'll typically try and verify. And many banks and financial institutions these days will want to make sure they have a second contact for you in case they think you are not performing a legitimate transaction. So there's a situation where there was a gentleman who was falling victim to a scam, and he was being asked to move all of his money out of his IRA to another IRA, and the financial institution wouldn't do it, but they had no other contact for the person. And so they couldn't call somebody like a family member to make sure that it was a legitimate request on his part to actually move the money from his IRA retirement fund to another fund. So that's why they want to get a lot of personal information about you. Education is important. It's part of our daily lives. The technology and the way to do things with technology is not going to diminish. It's going to be increasing. In Leisure World, where I live, we're actually using more technology. In any community you live in, you're going to see more technology being used, whether it's a city, whether it's a building for access codes, whether it's a service that you use. And that's one of the reasons why I do the Tech Explorer community. So I'm going to stop sharing here and pause and take a sip of coffee and see if we have any questions before I go in and start showing you some emails, and we can take a look and see how to tell whether they're legit or not. Here's a great email right here. I love this one. I got this today. It came from technical support, and the answer is no reply at serverdata.net. And in big text, it says your password is about to expire. These people got lazy. Okay. Now most email tools will give you. Did you see the pop-up email that I made larger or not? Let me do this. I'm going to share my whole screen. I know it's a little big, but I want to be able to see everything that I do here, because I'm going to go through a lot of windows. Get over there. Okay. Get over to the other screen. Okay.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So this was a really good one, because this was stupid. They did not say, okay, dear Bob Cohen, your password for account contact expires in 5 days. You can change your password now by logging into the control panel, navigating to the edit profile page, and using account contacts. Or if you prefer, we'll remind you of your password in 3 days. So if you look at this, it says here at your company. This is template text. They didn't fill it in. It's not they should have filled it in. This is really a template email. This is a scam email that's designed to be used by scammers to put this information in here to send out to people. So it's really kind of ridiculous what they did, but it was one of the more interesting emails that I found. So I don't know who serverdata.net is. What I could do is I could go to the URL serverdata.net. So let me go to one of my browsers here, and let me go to serverdata.net just in my browser. And there's this control panel. Kind of ridiculous what it is, but it says portal user login. I have no idea what it is. Okay. But somebody might say, oh my gosh, I better get in there because something's going to change and I better understand it. It's not a legitimate email because there's no company name and they just got kind of lazy here. Another one, Costco rewards. Okay, a lot of us have Costco memberships. And what I do is I try and look at the email. So if you look at the email, you can see who it's come from. If you tap on the from in the email, if you don't see it up front, you can see this comes from brutalization parley at df61.tradingaffairs.com. That is not Costco, right? so so you just have to understand that you can tell from the from email that it's not coming from Costco. And don't bother clicking unsubscribe because that'll send a message back saying your email is legitimate. So let's see. This is answer and win a Tupperware 3-piece set. Most people won't look at this. There's actually, it might have just said Costco rewards initially, but I expanded it. So usually you can right click or tap on the email to see it. So it says get started now. Now, when you hover over it, sometimes it'll tell you where you're getting taken to. And this is taking me to tradingaffairs.com, not Costco. But I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go to my notepad here. And I was starting to do this earlier. I'm going to copy and paste this URL here. It should let me paste the URL. I'm not sure why. Let me open this up here and see if I can find a way to do this. Okay. Save, open in browser. No, save as. Usually in a link, it'll let me open up this link. So let me copy this if I can. It'll take me to the page here. So it's routed me to a whole bunch of other places here. And I can see in my web browser that this does not say Costco.com anywhere. It says transported bumptiously.shop. Okay. And at the dot at the end there should say, it should say Costco.com, but it isn't Costco.com, but it really looks like it's Costco. Now they're careful. They say it's a survey about Costco. Dear Costco shopper, we want to offer you this. It expires today. Well, it's kind of interesting because I got the email a little bit earlier than today. Got it Thursday, July 30th, but they're saying whenever you go to this, it'll change this date to today because they keep on using this over and over. Copyright, and it says at fine print, this website is not affiliated with or endorsed by Costco or any similar brand and does not claim to represent or own any of the trademarks, trade names, or rights associated with the products. Okay. Is it a scam? Maybe. Is it a website that's just trying to collect data for people that shop at Costco? Maybe. But there's probably nothing being given away. Okay, so we'd like to offer you unique opportunity. They don't say if you fill out the survey, you're going to get it, but it's also not Costco. And so you'll see those types of things used fairly often in tools like that. You'll see another one. Here's navigate to senior savings. This is a great email address. Pi Ching A Connor SAF at unneedleshowerembryo.net. That's a really unique email address, okay, where you that you can see, okay, and these are who doesn't want savings for seniors over 25, over 55 here. Let me see if I can take this email, I can see it, join, okay, I got to join. Oh my gosh, I want to get all these deals. I may as well get them, okay, and find them out. They're fantastic. Click here. If you wish to unsubscribe, don't unsubscribe. Just delete the email. Now, I didn't fill anything out. I mean, I opened the email so they know it's valid email address, but it seems like these are all emails that come to my Yahoo account. And it seems like my Yahoo account is all 100% spam now, no matter what. And so I just keep it for keeping track of things, just in case there's some email that is there that I haven't moved email over to. Google will typically try and identify spam emails. They'll try and detect them in some way to see if they're being used. And so those are some challenges that you have to deal with. Now, one of the things that I did, there was an email that had a link in it that had a shortened URL. And if you get a short URL like this, you may not know if it's legitimate. Okay, so you can copy this. And I know I found something in one of my browsers here. Let me go to Chrome or somewhere. I got it here. Expand and shorten URL. So this is a URL expander. So I can take a short URL like that. It's called expandurl.net. I just did a Google search and found them. And I want to see, where does this URL really go to? Because there are tools out there that people use to, hide URLs, and they know people are going to click more than anything. So this goes to localswithneeds.site. Okay, I have no idea who that is. Okay, and so it's Emma Thomas, sounds like maybe somebody, familiar name, but they'll try and fool you into thinking that it's a familiar name, that somebody, and you'll try to think, gee, how do I remember her, Emma Thomas, from? When did I meet her? Must have been years ago, right? And you never really ever met an Emma Thomas, ever. It just that they're sending you an email trying to get you to go to this URL to do something and try and find out what it is, okay? So these are some examples of the types of things that you'll see in scams and what you can do to kind of identify. So always look for a legitimate .com or .net or that is associated with it. So if I go to Google search, for example, and I type in Starbucks, they're going to give me a link to a legitimate website. That's actually an easier way to do it, because I can see this is starbucks.com, and Google identifies and search, Bing identifies and search, legitimate websites from fraudulent ones. And they will typically not take you to a fraudulent website when you do a search for a name. So if I did a search for, say, US Bank, and it'll take me, it shows a logo here. I can click on that, and it's usbank.com. Okay, so those are other ways to get to legitimate sites and verify them if you're wondering how to do it. Now, let me open up a browser here. Let me get some space on the screen, and we'll take a look at some password lockers. Okay, I'll just do a search. There's 3 pretty much common ones that are out there. Password lockers. Okay, so 1Password, Bitwarden, even Norton has these services. Google has a password manager. PC Magazine does reviews. So that they are pretty common. 1Password is one of the most widely used out there, but there are others that are out there. I recommend you read reviews of them. There's 1Password, there's Dashane. I use LastPass, which has been pretty good for me. The advantage of a password manager is that no matter what web browser you're using, you can store your passwords in one location, and you can also add text and comments about passwords and keep other confidential information in there as well if you want to. So just some other resources that you could take advantage of for doing that. But I just wanted to show you some of the emails that I've been getting, because you probably got emails like that coming into your inbox too. and what's involved in looking at them and trying to explore them. So, well, thank you everybody for coming today.